I bet you already watched a ton of self-improvement videos about how to build good habits, and I also bet that you're still the same person. There are two reasons why. It's either you're full of excuses or you don't know how to properly start. What I mean by you don't know how to start the right way is that you lack the most important foundation to start and keep standing. If you build a tower on a weak foundation, it will eventually collapse. The same thing happens when you try to improve yourself. You want to change, but you don't have the right system in place to support that change. So, in the end, you fall back into the same habits that keep you stuck. If you're tired of repeating the same cycle, then you need to start applying and stop consuming. So, apply this technique that I'm about to teach you. Find a positive habit you want to build. There is a ton of it, but you must choose carefully. So first, ask yourself these 3 questions before deciding. Is it aligned with the life I want? Is it connected to my goals? Will it help me achieve my dreams?
If there are many habits you want to build, don't try to fix everything at once. Please, it is wrong. This is the reason why most people fail to build habits, because they are trying to build it all at the same time. It's like you're whacking a mole, but it's a habit. I know that because I'm also like this from the past. Instead, write them all down first, then choose the most important one to focus on right now. Focus on only 1 to 3 habits depending on how difficult they are. This part is important, so don't rush it. But at the same time, don't overthink it so much that you never start. I'm not just saying that you should do this to find the right habit that you want to build. I'm also saying this for you to know yourself more. What do you want to be? Why do you want to improve yourself, and what's the reason? In short, this part is also a self-reflection of who you are today and what you want to become. Once you decide which habits you want to build, the next step is engraving it to yourself. I read the book Atomic Habits, and one of the biggest lessons I learned from it is your identity shapes your behavior. If you want to write a book, start seeing yourself as a writer. If you want to become disciplined, start believing that you're a disciplined person. I know it sounds like fake it till you make it, but this thing truly works. Because when a habit becomes part of your identity, you stop feeling like you're forcing yourself to do it. Your brain starts saying, this is the kind of person I am. And because of that, instead of constantly fighting yourself, you naturally begin acting like that person. But merely acting as this type of person is not enough. You will need to strengthen this identity by having small wins, and that small success becomes proof that you really are becoming that type of person, and this helps manipulates your brain that you are now that kind of person. And once that happens, building good habits becomes much easier. Now, here's the next important part. Make it easier, obvious, and rewarding. A lot of people fail to build habits because they expect too much from themselves. They try to do the hardest things immediately, fail, and then fall back into their old habits. I know because I've been there too. Forcing yourself to study for 8 hours when you can't even focus for 1 hour yet is like fighting a final boss with a copper sword. Start small. Build it brick by brick. Don't rush progress. Real progress works like nature, it grows over time. But sometimes we get distracted so easily that we forget the habits we're trying to build. That's why you need to make your habits obvious, by changing your environment. For example, if you want to build the habit of journaling, place your journal on your desk where you can always see it. The more visible a habit is, the easier it becomes to start. That's what make it obvious means. Easy to see, easy to access, and easy to begin. But won't doing all of this still lead to burnout? Sometimes, yes. That's why you also need to reward yourself after completing the habit. Not too much and not too little. Just enough for your brain to associate the habit with something positive. When you combine these 3 things, making habits easier, obvious, and rewarding, building consistency becomes much more manageable. And finally, put your whole heart into it. Building habits is repetitive. It takes time. The rewards you want are delayed, and eventually the excitement you felt at the beginning starts to disappear. That's normal. And honestly, all the techniques I mentioned become useless if you don't truly want to change, so you will end up abandoning the progress you've made. You need to understand why you want to improve yourself in the first place. But here's something important. Changing yourself doesn't mean you have to hate the current version of you. Accept where you are right now, then start building from there. Because self-improvement is not about becoming someone completely different. It's about becoming a better version of who you already are.